everybody, and welcome to episode 208 of the TheSixthAxis podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Kris Lipscomb. Joining me this week is Lewis. You alright, Lewis? Cut out off a bit there, really. I was going
First
for it.
First of all, it was ready, and now it's just like, it's Lewis.
Also,
give me warning. Yes, I'm fine. Hello.
Also with us this week is Kev. You alright, Kev?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm just so pleased to be here.
No guest this week because
Chris isn't. He's being a grumpy guts.
No, I'm happy. I'm positive.
Oh, fuck off, are you?
It's a wonderful world.
Hey, come on.
Going to buy a solid state hard drive. It's going to be lovely.
Let's not.
Well, you can't have a solid state hard drive. I'm going to buy a solid state drive.
Would it be soft?
Well, you can get the SSHDs, which are the hybrid drives, where it's like a little bit of solid state and then lots of physical
moving
storage.
states.
Yeah, lots of moving storage underneath it all. Yeah, like Transformers, basically. I think that's how it works, right? It's just a transformer inside your computer, and that's where all the data lives.
Yes.
And then, like, when you need other bits of the computer, it transforms into them.
Yeah, that's technology.
That's pretty much it, I think. Right. Twitter hellos. People did say hello. Lucy JY23 said hello. Who seems
hello,
to be
Lucy.
Like, becoming one of our biggest fans.
I think so.
Or at least one of our most vocal.
Yeah. And also, Jemanis.
Or at the very least, our only one, apart from Jemanis.
Well, Jemanis obviously says hello.
Well, where did Solid Stephen go? Yeah.
I don't know, it's sad times, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sad times.
It's because we don't have forum questions anymore.
That's the thing, isn't it?
That was really his main, forum.
And also, Jasnam says, catching up on TSA podcast from the 11th of November. Hi, past. So eventually we'll get to this and then be like, ooh.
So hello from the past.
Again. I mean, to be honest, we're always talking to you from the past. We don't broadcast these live.
That's true. Hello from the further past than usual. If you were to be listening live. I mean, we've discussed this before. It might be the year 2526.
I mean, I find it unlikely these podcasts will survive that long.
This could be the only historical record of humanity.
We had this exact conversation. We're not doing it again.
Okay.
Time for the news. First thing in the news, EA are withdrawing from the E3. Oh, it's confusing, isn't it? EA are withdrawing. EA are withdrawing from the E3 show floor and moving its press conference to the Sunday rather than the Monday. Instead of having demos at the LA Convention Center, the gaming giant will host its own events, one in LA and one, hurrah, in London. I am reading this verbatim from TSA.
You could say EA, it's not in the game convention.
So it's called.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could. That would be an option. I would probably discard the option fairly quickly as it sort of popped up in my head.
So they are going to.
I'm trying, people.
Do that again.
No, you're doing well.
So they're going to have EA Play LA, which will be open for 3 days at Club Nokia. Presumably that'll be from the Sunday of E3 onwards.
EA Play LA.
Which is not.
What are they doing?
Yeah, that's just.
Someone get a naming department.
Yeah.
Club Nokia? God, what are they doing?
Oh, Club Nokia, no, it's like a big, it's a venue in Los Angeles. It's where,
Yeah, I got that, but it's still...
It's where Nintendo used to host all their press conferences. It's like a weird shape. It's just...
Is it just the top just open on a hinge?
Yeah. No, it's just really odd because it's like really narrow but really tall, which always gave Nintendo's press conferences this very odd feeling.
Because the aspect ratios all wrong.
Yeah, exactly. It was just fucking odd all the time. And because they just had these really tall, narrow screens, it always had... Do you remember like when they just had like the giant people appeared on the screen? And it was always like people playing games and stuff on the screen. But they just always seemed to loom. Just every year they were just like very looming. You're like, it's not a great look, really, these huge looming people. But yeah, I mean, what do we think about this move? EA Play London will last just a single day on June the 12th at the Mermaid Theatre, an event space in Blackfriars. And they're going to stream all this stuff, etc., as you would expect. What do we think about this?
It's a shame that they've moved away from the show floor. Like that's where the fun stuff comes out. That's where all of the articles and hands-on and that sort of thing.
Yeah, but I mean, people will still go and play their stuff.
In that case, fine.
Basically, it's just going to be really inconvenient for journalists to be like, oh, so we have to go to two things. Great.
As long as they keep going, then I'll keep reading.
Yeah, that's true.
So, It's fine. I'm fine with it as a decision.
Oh, well, that's
It
all right,
affects
then.
me very little.
I mean, it does. I can't argue. So Club Nokia, looking at it, is it's like 2 blocks away, so it's right there. So that's fine.
Inconvenient.
I was trying to remember because I'm sure when I was in Los Angeles, I saw it and I was like, "Where the fuck is it?" And yeah, it's like 2 blocks away from the convention center, so it's like 5-10 minutes walk. It's fine. Like that's more convenient than I anticipated. What else is going on in the news this week? I didn't look this up really.
Hey, so there was a trailer for Suicide Squad.
Yes, so there was. We think this came out after the last podcast was recorded. We didn't check. Yeah. We don't fact check, but we think it did. So it's relevant. Boom.
It's good though, isn't it? I mean,
yes.
It's weird that it's good because it's a DC film.
Yeah.
But it actually seems to be doing things with like color and stuff. So that's nice.
It looks super fun.
It's not just all desaturated.
Do you know the best thing about it, in my opinion, is that the music in it, they actually put fun music in it, much like Guardians of the Galaxy.
I was going to say, a lot of people have made a Guardians of the Galaxy comparison.
But so many films are just like, here's a creepy, slowed down version of a track that's normally happy.
Yeah, or just like Inception horn. Whoa! And then some text, and then whoa! And then some more text, and then like stuff happening. It breaks a lot of action movie trailer conventions. In fact, just movie trailer conventions generally. And it's nice, to see a Queen soundtrack where you would not expect one. And it's edited so beautifully to time with the music.
The editing, like the team of editors they put on that have done an amazing job.
Yeah,
to cut that trailer
and also generated
so perfectly.
a whole plethora of YouTube fan edits of other trailers set to "Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen.
Yeah,
Bohemian Rhapsody.
A mistake. So sorry.
I thought it was "Don't Stop Me Now," but maybe Lewis is right.
No, it's Bohemian Rhapsody.
Okay,
because it starts. Is this the real?
Oh yes, it does, doesn't it? Correct. Yes, I remember now.
I'm absolutely mortified.
Because while they're in prison, it's doing all that, which is pretty good. Yeah, and it really works because that song, because it's got the changes in pace in that song, it really works with the trailer quite nicely. It's done a good job there.
I had no interest in that film.
What about now?
I'm very interested now.
Yeah, pretty much the same. I was like, I'll probably see it, but meh.
And I didn't like the casting. I don't like Will Smith. I thought Harlequin was good, but I don't really care about anyone else.
I thought the casting was fine, but I wasn't like. I
was not keen on Jared Leto, or when the pictures came out of his version of the Joker.
Very different version of the Joker.
Oh boy, but he looks good now, doesn't he?
He does. The trailer looks really good.
What I really like, I don't know if you guys have seen the poster, the poster that came out with the sort of the skull face with X's for it, but like the mouth is all made out of the cast of characters.
I hated that poster.
Did you? I really like it.
Lazy.
That's not cool. That's just.
I really like it.
That's like fan art level of laziness. Not that fan art is bad, but like you don't.
Have you seen it, Chris?
I from your description, it sounds terrible.
Yeah, well, don't just go by my description. Have a look, because
I trust you, Kev. I trusted you to tell me what a thing looks like.
It's a terrible description. What I like particularly about it is that the Joker is just completely separate from all of the other villains because, like, he doesn't play well with others. I guess
he's the actual villain. I mean, as well in this. I mean, presumably he's the guy that they are being sent to Midway City to hunt.
I would guess. Don't know.
Although, I
really like the poster. I think it's complete departure from like all of the other DC. Like you look at Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman in those posters, and it's just like desaturated, serious nonsense. And this is just like color everywhere, and it's silly but good.
I really am not looking forward to Batman v Superman. In fact, I have no interest in it whatsoever.
Well. I mean,
shit.
I'm sort of interested in it to see what DC are going to do to kick off their whole thing.
Yeah,
but not really beyond that. I think that is actually the extent of my interest. It was like, oh, I wonder what DC are going to do. Not like, oh, this looks like a good, interesting movie.
To see Ben Affleck's Batman portrayal.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But again, not interested in the actual movie. Just like I'm more interested. Like it's kind of meta interest. You know?
Yeah. Because you are knowledgeable about everything to do with what they're trying.
I'm like, okay, so what are they going to do? Yeah, as you say, what's Ben Affleck's Batman going to be like? What kind of take? It looks like they're doing quite an interesting take on Batman, so I'm on board with that. maybe this Batman will be not a terrible detective, like like Christian Bale's Batman was pretty bad at detectiving.
Where is she? Well, that's your job, isn't it?
That's basically that's what you're meant to be doing.
He was interrogating.
Yeah, but he's pretty bad at detectiving the rest of the time.
Detectiving.
Yeah, I'm using that. He is, right? Like most of those films, not very good detective.
I personally don't really see any detective work going on at all.
Well, that's kind of my point, really. He should probably be doing more detective work. I mean, it's a significant part of being Batman. Look at the Adam West Batman. He's constantly doing detective work.
That's his main thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, except he can't get rid of a bomb.
Well, that's just that one silly film. Other news. Sony have renamed. They're not Sony.
Oh yeah, they're like PL or CR or something.
Right, so Sony Computer Entertainment Inc. and Sony Network Entertainment LLC will be formed into one company called Sony Interactive Entertainment LLC.
Seems confusing.
It doesn't mean anything really, but yeah. Basically, PlayStation all is under one umbrella now. For some reason, they were like, what if it's two companies before? And no one at any point was like, this seems confusing. Should this not just be one thing responsible for the PlayStation? Why is it two separate entities? And now they're like, what if it was just one? Seems like that would make more sense.
And they've gone with Sony Interactive Computer Entertainment LLC PLC United Limited.
Not quite though.
Something like that.
I guess the only downside.
Catchy.
The only downside is before it was like SCEE and it's Ski, which is fine. But now it's like Psy, which I guess opens them up for a lot of like, oh, the PlayStation Network's down, Psy kind of jokes.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know how many jokes how many of those jokes there'll be.
There is that one. That's the only joke. But people will make that joke a lot on Twitter every time PlayStation Network goes down. I guarantee it.
Or the PlayStation Network's working. Psych!
I guess. There's not really like the K in there to make that joke work.
No, but you know what, for fuck's sake. Like yours was bloody hilarious, was it?
No, mine was very bad, but...
Exactly, I know mine was bad.
But I'm willing to admit that.
I don't like you today.
Hey, come on now.
Do you not? I don't like you any day.
Oh.
Boom, slam back in your face. Face slam. That's what I did, apparently. That's what I've named it. Face slam. All right, moving on. It's time for what we did.
I'll just stop recording.
I guess there's probably not one use. I don't know. What we did. So, Lewis, you've been playing The Witness, I believe, this week.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, then moving on. No, listen, you've been playing The Witness. No,
I haven't.
But I thought you had.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Damn you! Treachery.
I have, yes.
Tricked me with your lies. I was like, oh, Lewis hasn't. Oh dear, I thought he had. Oh, I see what you did there. I see, you clever man. You snuck up on me.
What can I say?
No, Sue, but that's what Penny Arcade were talking about, and they said it's one of those games that has permanently seemed like it's in the future. You know, like it's always one of those games that's coming out, and they're like, "Oh, I guess it's out." Ooh.
See, I think that's a good thing about burying your head in the sand, because I didn't know anything about it until like last week.
Well, it's kind of interesting because it's not been like, say, The Last Guardian, where they kind of don't reveal anything about it at all. Just Jonathan Blow has kind of revealed little bits about it here and there, and it's been like, oh no, we're working on it, it's coming along nicely, blah, 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 and been much less cagey about it. And it's like, oh, I guess it's out in like 2 weeks. I don't know. You're like, oh, all right.
That's the way to do it, though.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Don't keep people hanging on. Just go, it's out now.
Yeah. But it looks really interesting. Looks really good. What do you think of it?
I've only played about an hour and a half of it.
Okay.
It is very, very pretty. Like stunningly gorgeous. Its art style is really, really nice. Looks very cartoony. But the weird thing I noticed is that although obviously at face value it looks very cartoony, there are some portions of the game where, because of the color and I don't know, I think it might be the color, the contrast, and all that lot. It's there are sections that actually look really realistic. I went down underground at one point earlier, and like just walking past the wall, I thought the lighting and the color of everything, it just looks really realistic in that particular.
Wait. Very important. I need to ask you: did you hum going underground the whole time?
No.
Did you what?
Hum.
Underground.
I thought you said harm.
I said hum.
I was like, wow, this is taking a dark turn.
I was going to say, I didn't harm anyone. I haven't done anything.
I said hum.
Yeah.
Got it.
But no, yes. So it's really, really pretty. And I love the fact that it's not holding your hand, and you basically just have to figure shit out. So puzzles are very tricky. Some of them. Like they appear really simple because they're basically a square, like with a maze in it, and you have to get from point A to point B. So as you start off, it's quite simple, leads you into it, but then quite quickly it becomes more complex. So you'll have black or white spots in squares, and you have to separate the blacks from the whites and then reach the destination, or you have to separate the blacks and the whites whilst also collecting like Pac-Man dots at the same time, and then reach your destination. So it gets really tricky really quickly. And the only thing to guide you is that once you've done a maze, a wire will be coming out of it, and then that wire will glow with a colour. And so you follow that wire around the environment until you reach either the next maze or a door or something that is unlocked. So, yeah, it's just a great game for people that like exploring, I think, and trying to uncover everything. I think I've just done. There's like an orchard of cherry blossom trees. Looks like, but inside the cherry blossom are a few green apple trees, and they're key to the puzzles that are in the orchard. So I'm finding it really varied in terms of the setting and where the puzzles take place. Because, like I said, I've done one in a windmill. I've done some underground.
I've heard that if you want to play it, then the best thing you can do is probably avoid like all reviews, because there are some things which are completely spoilerable, or possibly just spoilable. So yeah, I don't know how much of it you've played, and if you know to what I am alluding. I haven't played it at all, so I don't know what I am alluding. But apparently there's bits in there which you don't want to know going in.
Oh, I don't know to what you are alluding. Because basically I don't have a clue what's going on at the moment. I don't know where I'm supposed to be. And like I say, it's not like you go from puzzle to puzzle in some sort of sequence. It's once you get past the opening sort of tutorial bit, you're into the world, so you can go off in any direction that it will allow you. And you might go off in a direction, not be able to do the puzzle, and then just double back on yourself and go in a different direction. And explore different areas. So it's not like you're gradually unlocking something. It's all out there ready for you to explore at once, which is also quite nice. Because even if you get stuck on a puzzle, you can just go and have a wander around and see if you can try and get your head around what is going on and if there's any clues to help in the puzzle. And it's quite weird. It's quite intriguing. For me, it has that sense of sort of mystery that I felt was missing from the Rapture.
Yeah, I think it's kind of easy to draw comparisons, isn't it? Because you're both exploring sort of natural environment.
Yeah.
And
also you have very little interaction with the world.
Right.
You can't jump, you can run, you can't jump, you can't pick things up.
Yeah.
You can only literally press X on the maze and then control your little sort of whatever you call it, whilst you're in the puzzle, and then press circle to exit it, and that's the level of your interaction with the world.
Yeah, I'm kind of like you as well. Like I didn't really know anything about it, and I still don't really know anything about it other than what it is. Like the puzzles are lines, and that's kind of it. And so I've seen it sort of getting 10 out of 10s across the board. So I'm suddenly very interested in it. So I'll probably get it at the end of maybe like Monday or something.
I need to explore it a bit more, because at the moment I don't see what the 10 out of 10s are for. So I'm assuming that that's for people that have either completed it or got a fair way through, that it starts to unravel or reveal something, a
little bit more long term.
Yeah,
just puzzles.
Yeah, because if it stayed as it is, whilst it's very, very gorgeous game, and a bit of a challenge, it doesn't feel like a game in that sense because of the lack of interaction, and the fact that there's no definitive sort of story yet or narrative going on.
We'll have to give an update. In a couple of weeks or something.
But it like I say, it is the thing that hit me is it's just gorgeous. It's a beautiful game. The thing that annoys me slightly is when you go exploring. If you say went up a set of steps and then realised that you didn't want to go that way, you can't just fall off the side of the steps.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go all the way back. Yeah, all the barriers, like all the edges,
invisible walls.
Yeah. So that's a bit frustrating, but that's the only thing that I can sort of really feel about it at the moment that's in a sort of negative way.
But I would imagine
just piquing my interest.
I would imagine part of that though is that so people can't kind of
I imagine you can't fall into.
Well, but also so that people can't because I'd imagine a lot of the way the puzzles work is probably quite a guided experience. So you don't necessarily want to leave people like a hole that they can skip ahead or whatever, by having a barrier not there. So it's probably just easier to wall everything off like that, I would imagine.
Yeah. So, yeah, I can see myself getting very frustrated with some of the puzzles already, because there's a couple that I've looked at and it's like, I've tried every possible combination of that maze and it doesn't fucking work.
Yeah.
So either I'm missing something or I'm just very stupid.
Except for the one that works.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But then, in my eyes, there is no other combination.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
that's
I
kind
either
of how
haven't
it always is with
activated
puzzle
something
games.
yet, or...
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it, actually.
Very good.
Yeah, it looks really good. It looks pretty and all of that, but the puzzles, from what I've heard, get quite challenging later on.
Devilish.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just spilled my drink.
Oh, no.
But also, it's one of those... I kind of think this is a problem with... Not necessarily a problem, but it's just an aspect of all puzzle games that it can be so easy to miss that one little thing, kind of as you're saying, Lewis, that other people might find instantaneously, but because it's one of those things that... I know this is tautological, but, you can't see it just because you can't see it, and then someone points it out to you, like, how the fuck did I miss that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, I've done that to myself. Like, there's
also, you just take a break and you come back or whatever. And it's
there are a couple of puzzles where I thought,
oh,
this is impossible, and then I do a U-turn, double back, realise there's nowhere to go or whatever, return to it and be like, this is the fucking simplest puzzle ever. Yeah. It's like,
well, it's the same thing as when you put something down and you can't find it and you're like, oh wait, no, it's immediately in front of me.
Yeah,
I do that so often.
Or you're like, oh my god, where the hell is my phone? Yep, in my hand.
Yeah, exactly. I do that so when I get off the train, because you do like the pocket pat when you get off the train. You're like, all right, have I got everything in my pockets? Where's my phone? I'm holding my phone. And also, there's music in my earbuds from my phone. I clearly haven't lost my phone.
Can I hear music? Yes, then I probably have still got my phone somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you're still like, oh god, it's not in my pockets. Yeah, of course not. Of course it's not.
The best one's at night time when you're watching Netflix or whatever and you're like, where is my phone? And you're like, I'm watching it as we speak.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Being used.
You watch Netflix on your phone?
Well, no, I watch it on my iPad Pro now.
Oh, get you. iPad Pro.
I do watch it on my phone in bed sometimes. I'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't watch it on my phone if I was sitting in the living room. I don't watch it Well,
particularly because I've got
watching your PlayStation, surely.
Yeah, I've got I've got a Chromecast, so I can use my phone to just be like, TV, show this thing. So it's much easier.
Is there voice recognition on the Chromecast?
Yep, that's pretty much how it works. And that's what I say. TV show this thing, and it knows what I mean. Yeah. Google AI is very good.
It is. Well, they've done that thing. That's in the news this week.
Oh yeah, they won. They
won Go.
Yeah, they managed to beat a professional Go player.
And Go is a game that is you can't solve it with using the traditional dumb but smart AI for like chess, where you just brute force. You just consider all possible options and then take the best route. You can't do that because there are more atoms in the universe than there are options in a game of Go or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
So it has to actually do like best guesses and actually kind of start to use logic and intuition and that sort of thing. So it's a big step for the AI community, I think.
Yeah.
Never heard of that game.
No, I haven't either. I've only ever heard of it in the context of AI problems.
Have you ever played it? It's a very hard game. It's a little bit like checkers, sort of,
There's black pieces and white pieces. I know that
yeah,
much.
but it's also more. It's kind of weird because it's got like a point system and stuff. I played it I can't remember how to play it. I played it like 5 years ago. It's good, but it's really, really hard. And it's also a game where even more so than if you go up against a good chess player, you're going to get destroyed. But if you go up against a good Go player, you're done. Like you've got
they know your thoughts.
You've got like no hope. And it's also this very interesting thing that because it's got this weird point system, and first player has such a big advantage that they have to keep handicapping the number of points the first player gets to offset it. Because
the only way that computers had won up till now is by having a few turns ahead or going a few turns later. I can't remember which round it is. The way that gives you an advantage anyway.
But yeah, apparently even if you go whoever goes first has such a ludicrously huge advantage that they have to just keep every few years for like the professional tournaments and stuff. The handicap just keeps getting bigger and bigger because they're like, no, it's just too easy for these guys going first. We need to make it more difficult for them to overcome.
It looks batshit mental.
It's a complicated game. It's not
goes back to ancient China.
Yeah.
I think looks like someone spilt a bunch of vice versas on a wooden block.
Yeah, it is like that, I guess. It's really complicated. It's hard. It's just too hard as a game. I can deal with it. I'm not very good at chess, but I can understand, like, okay, I can understand why I lost this game of chess. Every time I played Go, I'm like, why did I fail? I don't understand what happened. Oh.
And then Mark Zuckerberg was like, oh yeah, our AI division's pretty close to that as well, by the way.
Yeah.
It's like, well, pretty close.
You lost, didn't you? Didn't do it, did you?
First
US
loser.
Go Congress.
Congrats, you're the first loser, Facebook.
Yeah.
You can be a professional Go player.
Yeah.
I can't be.
Yeah. There are like,
you can,
it's kind of
you can,
say so,
I mean, there are like, there are
you can be
professionals.
anything you want to be.
I appreciate your belief in me.
There are professional Scrabble players and stuff like that.
Ridiculous.
You could be professional in a lot of things. I think depending on your...
I can be unprofessional in a lot of things.
I also think depending on your definition of professional. Like, I doubt there are a lot of Scrabble players where playing Scrabble is their full-time job. But I would also imagine, like, because you could say you're professional if you make money from it, right? If people pay you to play Go or to play Scrabble or whatever, that counts, right?
Then you are professional.
Yeah, but even if it's not your full-time job. Yeah. Well, that's The Witness and advancements in artificial intelligence, I guess.
Yeah.
I think if we come back to The Witness next week, just so that I can...
Yeah, next week or the week after. You're not here next week.
I'm not here next week.
Yeah, Lewis isn't here next week, but we've got a surprise guest to annoy Lewis.
It's one of my favourites as well.
Yeah, I know.
He's a good lad.
He is.
Really mean.
He is. Don't tell people he is. Don't tell them. So, Kev, I hear you're heading off to, talking about things we're going to talk about next week. I hear you're heading off to Global Games Jam.
Yes, so there's...
Are you going to make jam?
It's a jam making event that lasts over the weekend. No, it's not jam making.
Okay.
It's game making.
So disappointed.
Global Games Jam.
Global
Jam. Game Jam. I think it's just Global Game Jam.
I mean, if you made some jam, would you have given it to me?
I mean, you wouldn't be my first recipient.
No.
You'd be somewhere on the list probably, but depends how much jam I made.
I mean, like a lot of jam. Like if you spend the whole weekend making jam, you're going to make a lot of jam, right?
That's true. Yeah, you probably get some.
I guess like one really good jam.
Yeah, could be crafting the perfect jam.
Yeah. Spend the whole...
So it's about games anyway.
Yeah, okay, not about jam at all.
Not.
Sorry, I'm
just
thinking about jam a lot now.
Do Inception and make a game about making jam.
Well, see, the Global Games Jam, Game Jam. Why do I keep saying Games Jam? I think because Kris said it. Anyway, that is, as it sounds, a global event. And so tomorrow, 5 p.m. GMT, or whatever we're in at the moment.
Stay clear of the Chinese people.
UTC.
Yep.
At 5 p.m. UTC, the theme will be announced. So no one knows what the theme is just yet. And then you're not allowed to talk about it on social media for another bit whilst Hawaii is still asleep or something. I can't remember.
Okay.
Because otherwise... Oh, no, I don't know. Something about Hawaii getting either disadvantaged or advantaged by the time zones.
How do they police that?
Well, they don't. It's just like don't.
It's like don't be a dick, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like just be nice and don't spoil it.
Yeah. So you could totally spoil it, but everyone would just be like, "Wow, that was really not called for." So anyway, I am going to Southampton University, who are hosting a Global Game Jam event. But the company that I work for are sponsoring some of the event. And so we're also giving talks about like how to survive a game jam and that sort of thing, because there'll be a lot of students from the uni and that sort of thing going. And so they'll have a chance to talk to us about like the games industry and.
Will you not be busy like making the games?
Yeah, I'll mostly tell them to naff off, mate. I'm busy.
Making this fucking game. I'm gonna win.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a weekend long event. We'll be staying in a hotel in Southampton near the university. There's a team of 4 of us going down, and I'm quite excited about it because I'm definitely the weak link on the team, which I call a learning opportunity. But they might not view it the same way. We'll have to see. So yeah,
and if all else fails, just make some jam.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to learn that as well. So, yeah. But yeah, so obviously I don't have any news about it this week other than I'm going to it. But next week I shall be able to regale you with tales of hilarity and game jam madness, or just like say, yeah, it was horrible. I wish I'd never done it.
Oh, actually, possibly.
Regardless of the theme, do you have an idea of what your game will be, and then you'll just tailor it to a theme, or will you wait for the theme?
Well, there's a bunch of secondary objectives that they have released already. Hang on, let me just get the list. They call them diversifiers, I think. And so these are extra constraints you can put on your games. Let's have a look. About diversifiers. Don't know. GGJ 2016 diversifiers. Just live Googling here. There we go. Okay, so your possible diversifiers. Oh, well, that was 2014. It's not what I want, is it?
That, if anything, is 2 years out of date.
You can probably cut this section down slightly.
No,
why did you say it like that?
No, I refuse.
Okay, so this year's Global Game Jam 2016 diversifiers are: number 1, comic book colours. Your game only uses 4 colours with an emphasis on contrast. Number 2, Lego got it right. There are no spoken or written words in this game. This is even true in the instructions. Number 3, The Bard's Tale. 2016 is 400 years since the death of Shakespeare. Build a game around one of his works. A local game for local people. Make a game that features your country, city, or people that jam around you. Where in the world is gameplay or art changes?
San Diego.
Well, I mean, that's, yeah, sure. Gameplay or art changes depend on the player's geographical location, GPS, IP, whatever. The game experience is therefore significantly different for players all around the globe. Crowdsourced. Anyone who is watching can play along. Not really sure how that works. That seems weird. No retreat, no surrender. The protagonist is able to go anywhere but forwards in every... the protagonist is unable to go anywhere but forwards in every situation. So basically an endless runner, I guess. Capture and play Bluetooth. Make a game with Bluetooth capabilities in which any Bluetooth device near the PC that have the game would interact with something inside the game. More enemies, more items, another challenger player, instant co-op, etc. Take control. Instead of the usual keyboard and console controllers, your game must use a custom controller.
That seems difficult at best in a couple of days.
When it says custom controller, I guess it means like hack a Rock Band controller or something like that, rather than like invent a new controller and like solder it and everything in the same amount of time.
Well, I guess you could use something like an Arduino though, right?
Yeah. Don't see why not. Marco Polo, create a game that contains no graphical output. All information is conveyed to the player only through audio.
Ooh.
That'd be kind of interesting. I don't think my team would go for it because, well, we've got a graphics guy, and for a start, I don't think he'd be too happy about it.
That'd be really fun to build like a kind of sonar game. Yeah.
There was a really cool that iPad game that we spoke about like a year and a half
ago.
Yeah, that one. That was good. Although that does have
like it has a little bit, not a lot though.
Gandhi's game. This game must have zero violence in its gameplay. Conflicts must have resolutions based on logic. One hand tied behind my back. Create a game that can be played with only one hand. On mobile, just one hand holding and playing at the same time. Or on desktop, mouse only or keyboard only. Multi-jammer, we're nearly at the end of the list. Multi-jammer, work cooperatively with other GGJ sites within your own time zone. Boring. Story mode, no cutscenes, text boxes, or interruption of gameplay. Use player actions for all of your storytelling. Infinite, your world is procedurally generated. That interests me because I'm really fascinated by procedurally generated stuff.
That seems quite tame compared to a lot of the others, though.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that unattainable. Just like, anyway. Loudmouth, all audio assets are created by sounds from your mouth, which is, as listeners from the past might remember, is something I've already done with a couple of games that I've made in the One Game a Month stuff last year. What was that? Any sound featured must not be sourced from the object in the game making that sound. Again, that sounds like quite an easy constraint. You just like
use your mouth.
Have a footstep sound that's just like someone going something like that. Yeah. I mean, that's not the only option. I've got more. It's work and play. The game requires the player to code/learn to code in order to progress through the game. Won't somebody think of the children? Your team must use the works from a child or children. That's kind of interesting. Like get a kid to do the graphics or something. Probably not the code. That would seem poor choice. Companion screen. The game uses a mobile device as an additional screen to show a different mode or portion of the game. Common ground. Make a co-op game playable by players who have very different levels of ability to each other. And then 2 sponsored constraints. Twitch Plays, sponsored by Twitch. Create a live stream game that's intended to be played concurrently by the masses on Twitch.
Well, that's basically the same as one of the others, though, isn't it? Like the play-along one.
Yeah, there was, what's it? Anyway, yeah, there was one like that. And Do You Even Care, sponsored by iThrive Games. Drawing from the guidance materials on iThrive, subject matter experts make a game that teaches empathy to teens. So that's a very specific cause, but Do You Even Care is a iThrive initiative, which is teaching empathy to teens, apparently.
Well, I guess that's good. Some of those are interesting, and some of them are. I like that there are some like technical constraints and some gameplay constraints. Is quite smart.
Some design, some audio, some graphical. Yeah,
it's a shame that you've got not a shame, but the fact you've got that graphics guy, because doing the audio only one would be really interesting, very challenging.
Yeah, it's interesting for me. I mean, like there's 4 of us going, so it feels more like a single person constraint probably. I mean, also our graphics guy that's coming with us is absolutely phenomenal. Artist. He's an artist at work. He is quite an expert at the old graphics. Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess the lazy way to do that would just to be do like something like Lifeline, but just have it narrated rather than anything else, like a Twine game, but just actually do it with audio instead of just text. But yeah,
tech-based, tech-wise, we're going to be using Unity and C# if you're interested.
Given that's your actual job.
Yeah, that is my job. We are bringing along an Oculus Rift DK2, just in case. It's really annoying because we've only got a DK1. It doesn't work with the Unity plugin. Lame.
It's a bummer.
Yeah, the Unity plugin's amazing. You just go VR camera, and then it goes, cool, play, and it just works. It's pretty impressive.
It's very cool.
Yeah. Unity, doing stuff so you don't have to.
Well, it'd be interesting to get your report back next week after you build off that ridiculously long list of diversifiers. Choose all of them.
I probably won't choose all of them, actually.
Okay.
And it's difficult to use only 4 colours and no art, isn't it?
I'll give you that. That's
just use
best.
black.
No,
a different shade of black.
You use 4 colours, no art, and you just use the audio one. It's like says blue, green, orange, red, and that's all it says.
Nice. Yeah. You
do like a blind man's buff
wall.
game.
Yeah, you can just sample me just saying that. Take that.
Yeah, I might. We'll see what happens.
Like Lewis, just give him some sound effects.
Wop wop.
There you go. Just use that.
Is that Sonic running out of air?
Yeah. No, that's Sonic getting some air.
Oh, getting. Yeah, of course.
Wop wop.
Pachow! Yeah, it's like a weird gun kind of sound effect.
Like a ricochet.
Yeah, exactly. You're perfect. It's like a scary ghost.
Yeah.
I can do some wind. Ready?
Yeah. That's actually that's solid wind.
Helicopter.
Thanks. Baby crying.
Classic. Baby seagull.
These are good sound effects, girl. You don't need anything else.
I could do like a howler monkey type thing. Ready? Hang on.
Here we go.
Oh, what's going on? Hang on. Oh, I've lost it. I can't.
Oh.
I can't
I can imagine just how good it could be.
You got that kind of sound there. If you want to make a game like about herding, like a sheepdog, you just use that sound and like, come by.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Make a game about sheepdogs.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on the theme, doesn't it? It's very difficult to know what the game's going to be about when the theme's not yet announced.
What if the theme is sheepdogs?
They'll probably make a game about sheepdogs.
Yeah, done.
Man in the box.
Yeah. How long did you practice that after seeing Rob Brydon do it?
No, I was able to do it ages. I've done that for years.
Yeah? He copied you, if anything.
He did.
Yeah.
Is it Rob Brydon who does it, or is it the other Welsh one?
No, it's Rob Brydon.
Isn't it the tall Welsh one who does it?
Who's the tall Welsh one? You mean Rod?
No, I don't mean Rod Gilbert. He is who I did mean him, but it's not him. It's the one who used to be a teacher that's in the In-Betweeners.
Oh, Greg Davies.
Yeah, he does it as well.
Does he?
Yeah, he does it as like a smaller man stuck inside him. So he has like a conversation with a small man who's stuck inside his stomach. It's a weird bit. Right, so this week I have been playing a little bit of Lifeline, which I really liked so far. I'm not like that far into it. It's kind of hard to tell how far you are into it, I guess.
Yeah, since talking about it, by the way, last week, I did finish. In fact, Lewis has played it and finished it as well, I believe.
Yeah.
And quite far away through Silent Night.
It's spookier than I was expecting.
I just want to say I did pretty well.
I think it's good. I've only had to rewind once so far, so that's not bad.
I spent a while. She died like 3 times, and then I was starting to get pissed off with it, and I was going to get really angry at Kev for recommending it.
And then you worked it out.
And then it started all coming together, and I started really getting into it.
But yeah, I do like it, and like you said, like you were kind of saying last week, it's an interesting game. I mean, it's very Twine gamey, but it's I really like it.
Yeah,
I keep picturing it as a film. I reckon it would work as a really good.
Yeah, it really would.
Like modern day Alien, because it's got quite a lot of similarities. Like, you know, stranded on a strange planet, come across a strange life form, that sort of stuff. But I love the atmosphere. Like you say, it's a lot more intense than you would expect just a text adventure game.
I think you get so involved as well. Something about the format of the game really brings you into it.
I will say what I really like as well is like how misleading it is, where it kind of the way that the character talks to you implies that your decision is the right one, and sometimes it's not. And I think that's really
like they just go along with what you think, and it's like, wait, no, but what do you think that was the right one?
Yeah.
Oh God.
The only thing I think I sort of want more of it are more dialogue choices, because like sometimes there'll be a situation and you get 2 choices. And you're like, I wouldn't do I wouldn't do either of those. I'd tell him to do something completely different. But so it almost forces you into, you know, making up your mind, and when it all goes south, you're like, well, I didn't even want to do that anyway, so that's not my fault.
So you're enjoying the sequel then?
Yes, very much so. And again, it's got a great atmosphere to it, and you know, lots of lights going out and footsteps and all this lot, and so it's quite spooky and quite creepy. But I love the fact that it feels like a sequel in the same way that a film, you know, sequel will do. It feels like the budget's bigger, new features and things like that. So there's more characters. You still have Taylor, but there are more characters, and their text is in a different color. You can't speak to them, but you can hear they're part of the conversation and things like that. It's on a bigger ship, and things just get even worse. Right. I love the fact that it feels like a proper sequel.
Wait, Lewis, I've got to cut you off there. Breaking news, and this is actually serious breaking news. Peter Molyneux has just sent out 3 tweets. First tweet, Gorgeous will be taken down from the Steam store with immediate effect. Thank you to all involved. Second tweet,
Ooh.
This is also the time I would like to announce my retirement from the games industry. It has
Hasn't he
been
done that
a
before?
long journey for me. Thank you. Third tweet, overall my time in the industry has been bittersweet. However, my biggest mistake was Fable 3. It pushed me and my team to the limits.
Wow.
That is fairly significant news.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Peter Molyneux has retired.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he's retired from games industry before, though, right? Or maybe that was just I'm going to stop doing press interviews.
Oh yeah, he said something like that before. Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe this is his latest game.
The goddess thing's a bit of a
That's kind of weird, right?
weird thing. It wasn't a Kickstarter as well, so
Yeah.
it's pretty harsh to the backers.
Even so, it was kind of
With immediate effect, that's so
weird.
weird. I wonder what's happened there. That's a thing has happened, not like that's not a. Here are the reasons of stuff. This is just like, this has got. Take it down. Take it down.
It's very much that's just like that's kind of salting the earth, isn't it? It's like, all right, I'm out, guys. Just burn it down. Burn it all to the fucking ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm retiring, and so's everybody else.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah, it's just it's a very scorched earth way to retire, I feel. It's just not what we would normally do. I'm retiring and all my work's coming with me.
yeah, my work and I are retiring from the games industry. Thank you.
I'm just gonna keep.
Yeah, pretty weird.
None of you appreciated my games. I'm keeping them for myself.
Hmm.
Oh no, what's Peter Molyneux going to do?
Oh, Peter Molyneux is much better than Peter Molyneux as well. Oh, that's sad. Did you see there was the Peter Molyneux game jam once? It was great.
Yes.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
had to make a game based on
that
like
is
a
just
Peter
out of
Molyneux
his
tweet.
tweets.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. Oh, I love Peter Molyneux. It's brilliant. And Peter Molyneux was actually one of the judges on the Peter Molyneux game jam.
Nice. It's come full
Which is
circle.
that's too meta at that point.
Imagine a game where you help people make important decisions in their lives by a well-executed and timed shot of a golf ball. So good.
So someone's gonna make a bad decision, then you just hit him in the back of the head with a golf ball.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like someone's about to have like that one beer that would have pushed them over the edge, and you just smash the bottle in their hand. Oh, that'd be actually. Yeah, I'd play that. Because the problem with Peter Molyneux is you read his tweets, you're like, oh, that's ridiculous, and then like 2 minutes
Hang
later
on
you're
a
like,
minute.
yeah, I'd play that. I would play that, and that's why it's a brilliant Twitter account, because it's dumb, but just like not stupid enough. You know, it's just reasonable enough that you, after a pause, you're like, yeah, I would play that. Yeah. And the other thing I have been playing a little bit of this week is a game called Risk of Rain, which is on Steam. And I kind of like it. So it's, I believe it's called a roguelike. Is what it tends to be called. It's got roguelike elements according to Wikipedia. So it's kind of like a 2D platformy shootery game. With what appears to be, as far as I can tell, randomly generated levels. And there's a bunch of characters, but so far I've only unlocked the Commando, who's like just the guy you start with. But it's also...
Oh, what's this?
It's called Risk of Rain.
Oh, right, okay.
But it's quite interesting, because it's kind of shootery, but it's also a little bit... the controls are kind of like RPG-y. In the
shootery and RPG.
Yeah, I know. But so instead of
action RPG,
but no, because like normally you have like WAS and D, and then you hit like return or whatever to fire. Here you're using the arrow keys, and then you've got like 4 abilities along the bottom, and they're on like Z, X, C, and V. But some of them have got cooldown times as well. So it's quite interesting in that way. And it makes it slightly different. So like the Commando has like with his gun, every time you press Z he fires, but he fires twice, whereas I assume other characters only fire once. Or if you he's got like an awesome like super powered shot thing, and then he's got like a combat role, or he's got a kind of thing where he's got like 2 guns, I think it is. And if you're surrounded by enemies, he just fires in both directions at the same time. Or if there's just one enemy, he'll just fire just at that enemy. It's really cool. So that kind of element to it's really nice. It's very simple visually. It's kind of it's not like a 16-bit kind of pixel art style, but it's also not far off. It does kind of it's kind of going for like a Spectrum-y type aesthetic, but much more polished than that would have been. And I just kind of like it. And the aim is you have to get to teleporter. So there's like monsters constantly spawning into this level. Somewhere in the level there's teleporter. Get to a teleporter, survive for 90 seconds, and then you also have to kill everything in the level, and then you can move on to the next level. But as you go through, you're picking up stuff like, so you kind of get general things that will boost you in some way, that will like, oh, if you've got this thing, then every time you take damage, you get a heal, or every time you get a kill, you get a heal. Or I got an awesome thing that it was really useful because I got into this situation where all of the enemies were bunched up in one corner, and if I tried to approach them, I was just getting absolutely hammered, and my health was getting wiped out. So I got this thing that was like, it's got like quite a long cooldown. It's like a 60-second cooldown, but it will create a ghost for every enemy on the screen, and so you use it, and every enemy gets killed, and then becomes like a ghost for, all the enemies get attacked by your ghosts, and then those enemies seem to also become ghosts and go and attack any remaining enemies. And so I had like 20 enemies, and it was quite spectacular because I hit it and they just all got wiped out in like 2 seconds. It looked amazing. It was just also like, I don't think the game really intended those 2 situations to be combined, but because you've got that random element, it's going to happen. It's a little bit glitchy. I don't think it's an early access, but yeah, it's a little bit kind of glitchy. So that's the only thing. It's like I kept finding a bit of a level where it didn't seem to have a collider on it, so you just kept falling through it, which is kind of weird. And it's like, it looks like ground, and there's a ladder, but I jump on it, and I just fall to my death. Well, not to your death, you just get teleported back up to the top of the level. So that was kind of weird. But yeah, I'm just really enjoying it. It's kind of like a weird kind of sci-fi type of game, and you start in an escape pod and stuff. But it's fun. It's like super dumb, but it's just really fun, and there's not really, the only aim is just can you survive type thing. And because it's so random, it is such a complete roll of the dice as to whether you can survive or not. It's like, I don't know, can I? I guess it turns out no, I couldn't. No, I got horribly murdered by a huge stone giant. Well, that was disappointing. Actually, I found the huge stone giant is quite easy to avoid if you're the commander, because you've got the combat roll and you can't take damage while you're combat rolling. So every time he stomps his foot, you just combat roll out the way. It's great. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I've been enjoying it. I haven't played a huge amount of it, like maybe 2 hours or something. But
what's it called?
Risk of Rain.
Risk of Rain.
It's on the Steams. It was quite cheap, but that was because it was on sale. It might be off sale now. But when I bought it, it was like £1.50 or something ridiculous like that.
Is it AIN or REIGN?
As in the stuff that comes out the sky. That type.
First one.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah, the sky water stuff. It's that one.
Yeah.
Cloud Juice.
Oh, I might start just calling. Yeah, it's called Risk of Cloud Juice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, I've just seen some Risk of Rain fan art, which is pretty awesome, which is brilliant for a podcast medium.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh, that is pretty good. I haven't got that. I've only got like one of those characters so far. I want to get the bow and arrow guy. The archer guy looks awesome.
Archer lady, I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I couldn't quite see. Or like there's just a dude who's got a massive drill. I wonder what that guy's deal is.
It's got a big drill in it.
Just like, I've got this fucking big
I reckon
drill.
he's a driller.
Yeah. But it's
Isn't that robot's leg?
Oh, it might be. I'm not sure.
Because he's got no
Oh,
leg.
that's a good point. The green would around the coupling of the drill makes
But
it
Man,
serious.
imagine if you were that robot. That'd be pretty
The
sweet.
bit above it has no. It wouldn't have a foot otherwise, and he looks just suspended in the air.
Yeah. Anyway,
that's
let's carry this
true.
podcast on because I want to go play Risk of
Yeah.
Rain.
It's fine. Do
let's,
you have anything else to talk about?
no,
I like the pink dude with 4 eyes and the ball and chain.
so I watched a video and he's fucking awesome. Like he just leaves an acid trail behind him or something mental like that. So enemies come at you and just get burned by acid.
Nice.
I do like.
It's
him.
great, but because he's got the big ball and chain, he's like super slow.
Who's the mysterious figure in the
I
background?
don't know. Like, I've only got the one dude so far.
Well, hurry up.
Cool.
Cool. Anyone else want anything to talk about?
I did play. Oh, that's not going to be very good, is it? 'Cause I can't remember what it was called or what it. It's a web-based game.
I can't remember what it was
But I
called.
can't remember what it was called, and I don't know what the URL for it was.
I
so-
can't remember what it was about. I just knew that I invested time
No, I
in it.
know this about. Yeah, if you give me 2 secs, I can log into my work email and find the URL for it.
You got anything, Lewis?
It's quite good.
Or
It's probably worth talking
Huh?
about.
What'd you say?
anything you want to talk about?
I'm watching Mr. Robot.
Oh yeah, I wanted to watch that. I nearly did watch it, but then then it was like, hey, do you want to watch Lucifer? And I was like, I do want to watch Lucifer.
I'm really really enjoying Mr. Robot.
Firstly, I
Really.
would say watch Lucifer.
I might do afterwards.
Well, you could watch it because it's only they're releasing it like one episode at a time, like one episode a week.
Right, no, I'll wait for it to be full.
Okay, I kind of watched the pilot. I might actually try and watch it one episode a week because I watched it with my flatmate and he really enjoyed it as well.
I've got to the point now where I'm a bit spoiled, and I think I'm not waiting for your TV show to come out in
Yeah.
episodes. Give me the whole bloody season, and then I'll be interested.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I have just been ploughing through Black Lagoon, which is an anime I really like, and just sitting on Netflix and being like, all right, let's just see how much of this I can watch in one sitting before I have to get up and do something.
No, Mr. Robot's really good, and I think you guys, because of your techie.
Yeah, no,
background
I
and
really
stuff-
do want to see it.
What is it, Mr.
It's,
Robot?
It's about like hackers, right?
Not heard of it.
Rami Malek, who is the guy from Until Dawn. He's a very awkward, socially inept hacker. I would like to say autistic, but I don't want to throw that around. But he's got traits of autism and stuff like that. And basically, yeah, he's a big hacker, and he gets involved with a guy called Mr. Robot, played by Christian Slater, who and they're basically trying to take down a giant corporation likened to Apple, but called Evil Corp. And yeah, the actual name is E Corp, but everyone calls it Evil Corp. And they're basically
Which is
just
also,
trying to take it
I'd like
down.
to say, it's definitely not Enron.
Yeah.
It's definitely not Enron. I mean, they're not using like basically the Enron logo or anything like that.
But yeah, no, it's really cool. It's quite gritty, quite dark. And the lead character, like I say, played by Rami Malek, his name's Elliot. He's fascinating because I struggled to watch a bit because the actor Rami Malek I can't tell if it's an overbite or if he's just got big teeth. But even in Until Dawn, I noticed it, but I just thought it was the mocap not being up to speed. But he's got like a weird slur or a speech impediment because of his top jaw, which I know is not his fault, and I'm not saying. But when you listen to him, it's quite difficult to get over it. But once I got over that hurdle, he becomes even more sort of enigmatic, and he's brilliant in it. And yeah, I just really got attached, and I just finished episode 6 last night, and something big happens, and I was like, no, you fucking bastards. But I think there are 10 episodes, and they're 45 minutes. The first one's an hour, and then they're 45 minutes after that.
Well, I definitely do want to check it out.
That's an Amazon Prime exclusive.
Yeah,
Probably won't watch
in
it
the
then.
UK, in the US, it's on something else because it's an actual TV show in the States.
Oh, I thought it was. Well, I thought it was a Amazon.
No,
original.
it's they've done it quite a lot actually. Where they've just bought the rights in the UK when when TV networks are like, I don't know. When Amazon's like, we have this big stack of money. What if we just push this big stack of money at you? Yeah, no, it's a real TV show in the States. I can't remember what it's on, but yeah, it is. Which it was, yeah, because I was kind of frustrated because
it's on Hulu.
No, but it's on like an actual TV network as well.
Oh, I see.
Like Hulu is like iPlayer. It's like
yeah. So all I meant was,
if people want to watch it, yes, they can go watch it on Hulu.
If you don't have Amazon for whatever reason, but you do have Hulu, which is unlikely in this country. But
you can't have Hulu in this country.
Exactly. That's why it's unlikely.
Yeah, it's very unlikely unless you've got a VPN. What's it?
Well, plenty of people do for Netflix US.
Although Netflix is cracking down on that.
So they say, which is weird because their stance has always been like, we're with you guys, like universal content for everyone, but licensing being what it is, we can't change the world. But now they're like, yeah, we're going to crack down on it, which is strange.
I wonder if it's because they did they recently did the worldwide launch thing. And that was probably one of the reasons they quite liked VPNs before, because they were like, we're pretty on board with this because it means customers in countries where we aren't will pay us money. But
yeah,
now
exactly.
now they're like, well, we're just in all the countries. We launched in all these countries.
Yeah, so now
they launched in something ludicrous like 73 new countries on one day or something insane.
Netflix US is losing Doctor Who next month. So that's Netflix news.
Conveniently,
sorry,
I don't live there.
Just reading NetflixLife.com now.
It's just Kev's gone down the rabbit hole.
Let me close this down.
Bad time.
So the only thing else I've been playing this week is a web-based game called A Dark Room.
I'm not cutting out the bit where you couldn't remember what it's called. That's staying in.
Fine. I've just remembered that the game had played...
No, cutting none of this out. Just keep going. That's what it's called.
It's called A Dark Room. Anyway, you can go to adarkroom.doublespeakgames.com yourself and play it. And it's just, I'm talking about Lifeline, reminded me of it, because it's text-based adventure, but it's a web browser interface rather than a phone one, so I can imagine that might put some people off. But it's really interesting, the way that it kind of builds up the web page as the game progresses. It's not something I've seen done before. I don't really want to say too much about it because it's all about discovery. So when you come to the website, it's got two sentences. The fire is dead, the room is freezing. And then it's got a dark room and a box that says light fire. And that's it. And then it all sort of kicks off from there. And as the game progresses, more things appear on the site and more options available and all that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm not going to say too much about it actually, but it's a recommendation because it's quite interesting. adarkroom.doublespeakgames.com. Certainly
interesting. That does sound really good.
I'm playing it at the moment and I'm already intrigued.
Yeah. So the first time you click light the fire, you get two more things. The fire is burning and the light from the fire spills from the windows out onto the dark. And then there's a stoke fire button, which sort of looks like it's counting down, like it's a draining of its progress bar sort of thing. And it's great. It's disabled. So, and then it becomes enabled once that countdown finishes. And you can stoke the fire again. It's the fire is roaring. The room is cold. And so, yeah, from there on, it just kind of, it more things happen and and it hooks you in.
Certainly sounds like it. I'm very interested in it. All right, question time.
Question time.
Lucy JY23 says, basically it's the only question we have, and it's about the witness.
Okay, one for Lewis then.
Lewis. And you've kind of answered this, but
sorry, I was building a trap.
What?
A dark room.
A dark room.
Yeah. I wasn't just building a trap.
I
have plans. I'm building a trap.
I was like, don't worry, guys. I need to get this trap building done, and I'll be right with you.
To be honest, that wouldn't be the weirdest thing I've said.
Lucy JY23, regarding the witness, would like, and you kind of answered this, but perhaps you could just give a concise answer to her question.
Okay.
From what you've played so far, would you agree that it's as good as everyone says it is?
It's difficult to say because I've only played a short amount of time. I can see why people would be saying that. I am looking forward to seeing what it becomes. Let's put it that way. But yes, stunning game.
Okay, fair enough then. Well, that's all the questions we have, so that's answered that. So that's going to do it for this week's episode of the podcast.
I do like person 678. Is that 678? 876.
They changed.
He did say in conversation to Peter Chapman, who said that The Witness is amazing. Can't wait until
I saw this.
Can't wait until loads of smarter people with much more time than me uncover and disclose all its secrets. To which person 876 said, "It feels like it's someone having sex with my eyes and my brain at the same time. So pretty." To which I responded, "I like that someone having sex with your eyes and brains would be a pleasurable experience for you."
Yeah, it's not really something I'm into.
But clearly he's. I think the gist is that he's saying it's a treat for the senses.
The gist,
and for his brain. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's mixing his metaphors.
It's conjunctivitis.
Yeah. I think he's mixing his metaphors somewhat.
So that's going to do it for this week's episode of the podcast. As per usual, I've been your host, Kris Lipscomb. All I can do at the minute is stoke a fire. Oh, I got wood now. Okay.
I can build a hut, a trap, and a cart.
That's annoying.
I've also got fur from a strange thing that's been left on my doorstep.
The wood is running out, apparently.
See, yours is already running differently from how mine ran.
Apparently the room is mild.
Yeah, my room is now hot.
Okay.
I've got a stranger that says she can build things. So I'm building.
Well, let's not spoil too much of the
it's only the first couple of minutes. She's now building
stuff. If you'd like to get in touch with me on Twitter, you can get me on Twitter.
Someone left me a weird thing on my doorstep.
Pro. If you'd like to get in touch with Lewis, you can get him as Lewis Gaston.
It had Mikey's teeth in it.
If you'd like to get in touch with Kev, you can get him as Kevitron400. If you'd like to get in touch with the podcast generally, you can tweet us at TSA Podcast. If you would like to get older, essentially go to TheSixthAxis.com where you can get more great content from the Sixth Axis. You can go to like YouTube or Stitcher. I don't know,
iTunes.
Just listen to the radio and maybe we'll be on there. Probably not.
Might
but
be.
You never know.
Yeah.
Today program.
Don't do do because I can pretty much guarantee.
Sorry, I listened to the Today program. I'm not on the Today program. Different.
It's an easy way to get confused. With social media and that, you're like,
it's anti-social media.
Probably just contributing to this, right? That's how it works.
One-way media, a bit like us, I suppose. We're less antisocial than the radio. Some radios phone-ins, Jeremy Vine, he'll do that, won't he?
I mean, why did...
I think it's an absolute disgrace what they're doing at the moment. I think it's just abominable, really. That's my impression of somebody who might phone into the Jeremy Vine show.
Oh, I'm gathering wood. I've got 14.
Oh, I see. It's fine for you to talk about it.
So that's going to do it anyway. So say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
The Sixth Axis Podcast.